So Love is Blind, the next 3 episodes, episodes 7, 8, and 9 are out. And this is so gold. I cannot tell you enough. If you are dating and you are wondering, oh my gosh, why isn't it working out? What am I doing wrong? This is just something that you will see. And I'm going to dive right in how you can learn from these people's mistakes, because it's a shit show. It's like insane. It's awesome. So let's start with Brittany and Ken. And when I saw them in the beginning in the pods, I was like, oh my gosh, they're so aligned, the things that they were saying. But this is why it's so important to take things slow and see how they are in the real world and if the actions align with their words. And Ken does not show up for Brittany at all in the real world. He cannot stop looking at his phone. And this is something that it probably resonates with you. I know that I've seen this time and time and again, where people are always on their phone. They have other priorities, and you see it on, it's just bananas. I'm like, oh my God, Ken, shut the hell up. Look up at Brittany, pay attention to her. And he doesn't. And he really doesn't. And when she's really, expressing to him in such a mature way and communicating that, hey, something's going on here. I don't have that crave for us to be together. He's like, oh, well, I do. But he says he does, but his actions are saying otherwise. And you get what you give. If he is giving a half-assed love and he's like, oh yeah, I was out until 1:30 in the morning and then I came back and I wanted to love on you. And she's asleep because she has to get up at 5 in the morning, freaking idiot. So I'm like, Ken, bye. And so yeah, that is a bye-bye moment. And I really hope that, they do say bye-bye. And Ken can give a shit. He really didn't even look like he gave a shit. And I think that he's very oh, I trust God and whatever. And you know what? I'm a believer and I have faith too. But God, the universe gives us blessings, but it's up to us what we do with that. And we may very well just throw away an amazing blessing that God, the universe, gives us. And I truly think that Ken just keeps using that as oh, whatever happens, it's going to be perfect for me, and it's going to work out perfectly. And that's bullshit. That really is. I feel we have free will. People, we are given blessings. Brittany was such a blessing, I felt. I think that Ken had other issues. He had when AD went up to him and said, hey, she's white, and it's the first white girl that Ken goes out with. How are you going to raise those kids? That got in his head. He was like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? Brittany did not even hesitate. She was like, I've dated black men before. I've got this. And I think that Ken was lacking trust in all of that. It seemed like he cared so much what other people were going to say. And yeah, I just feel like I'm happy for Brittany. Honestly, I'm happy for Brittany. Okay, so on that note, who else am I really happy about? Oh my God, Laura. I love Laura. She's dating Jeremy, and Jeremy, I'm like, I can't. I'm like, oh my God. He goes out at 10:45 at night, and I love how Laura's like, what happened? Let's talk about this. And he goes to the bar. He's like, oh yeah. And then I find out that Sarah Ann, the other girl that he was talking to, happens to be there at that bar. And he goes still. Mind you, Sarah Ann had sent him a message that he hearted. And she had said, if you ever have a change of heart or change of mind, I'm still here. So, that's the first red massive flag, right? Laura's like, Jeremy's like, oh, look, Laura, look what happened. But Laura's still kind of why didn't you shut this shit down? And he didn't. Then he goes out and doesn't come back until 6 in the morning. You guys, this is freaking crazy. And what I love about this is that Laura calls him out on it in a really mature way. I just love how she communicates. He is such a little he's so full of shit. That's what it is. He's just sitting there kind of I went there. Sarah Ann was there. I just as if he did nothing wrong and she's outrageous for even questioning him. A little bit of that gaslighting energy, right? And I'm just okay, I'm trusting Laura. She's not going to take any bullshit. I'm just Laura's 33. She knows what she wants. And I feel like she is going to head, like sometimes we're like, oh my God, that's concerning. He stayed out until 6 a.m, sweep it under the rug. She's like, hell no. Like, well, let's talk about this. And so he says, I shared my location with you. And I love what she says. It's like, you could have sent me a message. You could have texted me, but no, you shared a location. Like, what is that about? Am I supposed to track you down? Like, what is... And she goes, where were you? He's like, oh, I was in the lost and found parking lot until 5 a.m. So lost and found is like some bar there, wherever they live. And she goes, no, you weren't. Don't share your location if you're not ready for that person to actually check where the hell you are. And you were in some other part of the town where Sarah Ann lives. Jeremy then looks like he just shit his pants. It was the best. And then she just like gets up, walks away, and says, I'm out. Like, the only thing that I would have changed about that whole conversation, I was hoping that she was going to say, did you sleep with her? Did anything happen between you two? That's it. Like, did something happen between you two? Like that. Did something happen between you two? Oh, I don't know. Like, I just want to see him just bullshit. Like, I just want to see what... She never asked him. She's probably assuming it. And I could assume that too. And he just lied. But even if nothing happened, he's a liar. Because he kept saying, oh, we were just in the parking lot. No, you weren't. And he's like, okay, well, we were in the alley. Da, da, da. He's just so full of shit. I can't stand it. And you know what sucks about all this? Laura's going to leave there. I hope this doesn't happen. But what I'm worried for her, and I think what happened to so many of us, right? Well, so many of you guys out there. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because, these kind of shows are gold, and I love to talk about that and help you. And you guys can see it, like, oh my God, this is awful. And how Jeremy is speaking to Laura may actually remind you of someone you've dated. And it will give you kind of this, oh my God, like a guide on how to navigate that shit. And, just tell you, run, get the hell away from this guy, right? So anyway, and the other thing that was a huge red flag with Jeremy, by the way, he had never been in love, he had said. That's freaking concerning. He just looks a lot, I don't know, I just feel like, what the hell's going on? And he just seems really immature. Him and Laura got into some kind of fight before this big one, and he gave her the silent treatment. I'm like, and she never did anything wrong. It was him. So I just get massive immature energy from him. And Laura is just very emotionally mature, very intelligent, knows what she wants. Like, what are we doing, Laura? Like, it's a bye-bye time. Like, and I just hope that she sticks to that. I really hope when she says, I'm out, she does not, waver. How many times are we like, oh, we're done. And then the guy comes and I'm sorry, and I'll never do that again. And it's like these guys, people tell you who they are. Right. And the writing's on the wall from the jump. So it's really up to us to listen and believe them. So I hope Laura does stick to the bye-bye, right? We gotta get into Clay. Okay, I can't. Like, there's so much Clay. Clay says, now listen to me, you guys. If you ever are in your dating world and dating journey and someone tells you what Clay says to AD, oh my goodness, this is a bye-bye moment. He says to her, I have never seen a black man be faithful to their wife. So he says, my mom has always been cheated on by my father. He has taken me to like all his, and a few infidelity things that he's done. I don't even know if my mom knows. So this is what he's saying. This is what Clay is telling AD. And he's like, yeah, and even the famous black men that, and he starts naming a few, like they've all cheated. I've never seen a black man be faithful to their wife. AD is listening like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm just like blown away with this because I think AD is so impressed with this honesty and vulnerability. But what I think that AD is missing is he is letting her know that his ass is going to cheat. This is what I'm hearing. He's not saying, I like my moral compass, like I am a faithful person. Like AD is not saying, hey, have you ever cheated on your past girlfriends? Why hasn't she asked that? Because I think the answer's already there. I think he's already said it. But she's not asking these things. She just keeps celebrating his honesty. But yes, thank you for your honesty. And now there's a door. Bye bye. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel that so many people, right? And I used to do this all the time before I met Will. I was like, oh my God, giving them so much credit. Like, look at him. Oh my God, he's like working on it. And he says he wants to do therapy. Oh my gosh. Like, let him do that shit on his own. This is not freaking build a man workshop. This is freaking like, you need a man that arrives, that has his shit together and that is aligned to what you want. If you want to get married and have a man who's faithful, then choose a man who is intentional about it. Not the man that's telling you, all I've seen is cheaters, and I want to go to therapy and talk about that. Are you kidding me? Like, AD, I can't. So like, the next episodes are about to be released on the 28th of February. Okay. So if you haven't seen Love is Blind, the first 9 episodes, get on it. It's so good. And Clay, I'm just saying, like, he says, I have demons that I'm fighting with. Guys, if someone that you are dating tells you, I have demons that I'm fighting with, that all I've done is cheated, or all I see is cheating, run. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter who else is on the other side of any other door. All I know is that is not for you. Okay. So let me know. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I want to hear from you. I want to know if any of this is resonating with you. Have you been that person? Oh my gosh, I want to know if you are that like guy who has only seen cheating, or you're the girl that's only, let me know who you are. Are you any of these characters from this show? The other thing the last one that I want to talk about, I know there's so much to unpack, is Chelsea. And Chelsea, oh my God, but it's like too much. Chelsea is so insecure, and she says, I am very secure, but her actions keep like screaming insecurity to me. And she's explaining and expressing what she wants from Jimmy. Like, I want more love. I want more kisses. You didn't kiss me today. He says, you're clingy. I see this as she's coming off so anxiously attached. I'm not sure about him yet. Like, I don't know if Jimmy, because I just don't know if he's going to come through for her. I just feel something about Jimmy I don't trust. And they show a clip of the trailer of what's to come. And he actually tells Jess, who was the other girl that he was between, that you're still my number one. So I am like dying to see what happens. Either way, Chelsea and Jimmy, hot mess time. Like, it just reminds me of my past relationships where I was so insecure, so needy, like, give me love. Like, do you love me? Oh my God. But that also happens when you're with the wrong person. You know what I mean? So like, clearly something's going on there between the two of them that I don't feel they're aligned. Okay, last person I talked about is Amy, the Latina, who, I already love her because Latinas unite, right? But she says she needs her dad's approval. She says that, and he's very overprotective. So I'm really interested in what happens because the dad doesn't come into the picture yet. He will be coming in, but something I'm not really feeling is how her guy, is it Johnny is his name? He doesn't freaking like want to have sex with her because she's not on birth control. And I'm like, what are we doing here? I just like, can anybody out there, like, seriously tell me, like, are you on the same page with me? Because I'm like, what are we doing? He is terrified of getting her pregnant. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, put a freaking condom on, and I'm like, well, what are we doing? Like, go for it. But he's like, every girl I've ever dated has been on birth control. So like, he's like basically saying, I'm not going to have sex with you until you have birth control. You're on birth control. And she doesn't really want to do that she starts to talk about that. And she even says to him, well, you can get a vasectomy. And he's like, oh, of course. Yeah. But like, one day they both want to have kids. I just am not feeling, and I'm not excited about the way that he navigated all of that. I just feel like there's a lack of maturity there. I think he's really, really like stuck in his thinking, and he's so adamant about it. And it's also, I feel like, an ego thing too, kind of like he has to win, like she has to get on birth control. I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit manipulative, a little bit controlling. It's coming off, it's giving me like a bye-bye feel of like, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? I'm just like, well, I don't know. I'm just not really digging the way his approach is. That being said, Will ended up getting a vasectomy. So like I am used to a guy who, honestly, I didn't like birth control for me so much. And so Will was like, yeah, I totally get it. But I get that he also wants to have kids eventually. Either way, the approach, the way that he is communicating, this is where I feel like you guys can get so much out of watching Love is Blind. It's like, oh my God, that's what an emotionally immature person looks like. And that's what it sounds like. So I'm not a fan. Like, who am I a fan of? Like, I feel like everyone's gonna break up. Like, everybody's breaking. But the good news is that you guys can learn from all of these mistakes. I just feel there's so much gold. So let me know. Thank you for listening. I am going to watch those last few episodes. I hope you do too, so we can talk about it. Follow me on Instagram where I'm talking about it too. The Jackie Loor. Sending you so much love. Do not settle for any bullshit like these freaking Jeremys and the freaking Clays, and until you get crazy love. It has to be crazy love or nothing. Until next time. Bye.